CaneRod likes for two. Full pipe glove is the place for you if you like pipes and chatting, and especially if you being merry and is hotter than ginger. CaneRod.
Hello, friends. Happy Friday. Sorry, mushroom leg made me think of it, and here we are. So how is everyone doing this evening? I hope your weekend's off to a great start. Happy Friday, and we have here the Matches Memorial Friday 7 Ellie, as is tradition, filled with Haunted Bookshop, and I am looking forward to getting this rolling. So let's see who we've got in attendance so far. I already mentioned Mushroom Leg, and there's Jeffrey Feinberg and Patrick Grant. Good to see you guys. Pipe Time, Big Dave, Alex Saunders Jr. Good to see you all. Stony Lawn Cottage Pipe. Glad you like the selection of pipes there. Those are all pipes that I worked on at one point or the other. I really should update it because I got a bunch more pictures, but thank you for noticing. There's Michael Case. Hello, Mike. 85 and sunny. Ooh, iced tea in front of the fan with the cat. Can't beat that, Michael. Hope the cat is well. Hillbilly Piper, how you doing, Donnie? Signalman Tony from Rhode Island. Good to see you tonight. And Flint Hill Briar. And I think that's got us all caught up. Big Dave said it's 100 in Tucson. 100 Fahrenheit. Not bad here. It was kind of warm today, cloudy. In the 80s, but cloudy. I actually worked from home today and worked up until about 11 o'clock out on the back patio. And then it just got too hot, so I moved indoors. But right now, it's actually a very cool evening. If I wasn't here, I'd probably be sitting out back enjoying a pipe. Jeffrey Feinberg. Daughter just graduated high school. That is a great day, my friend. Congratulations, and congratulations to her. Dry Fly Fisher 11. Good evening to you, sir. Mid-80s in Atlanta, says Pipe Time. Not too bad. And hot and humid in Jacksonville, says Alex Saunders. Which is probably pretty much par for the course, huh? So yeah, we got some stuff tonight. I had to throw in the theme song. Got to do that every once in a while. And I was thinking earlier today of trying to make some new versions of that, but I don't have any of the original stuff. I don't even know how I made that originally. But it would be kind of fun to try different genres. Do a heavy metal version of the theme song or something like that. That would keep our buddy Tim Fournier happy. I haven't seen Tim yet, but I'm sure he will check it eventually. And he loves sending me heavy metal videos for some reason. Patrick says it's a tad humid 75 in New York City. Roughly what we've got here, Patrick, but it certainly has cooled off nicely this evening. Still a bit humid. Andrew Galloway wants me to use the theme from Barney Miller. Nice and bassy, huh? Pondering with Pepe's Pipes. Good to see you, buddy. And David Bookshop. Oh, you're looking forward to it. Well, David, thank you for joining us, buddy. Hope I can live up to those expectations. I have to be honest, I'm not feeling terribly entertaining this evening, but I'll do my best. And as you might have seen on the title card there, we're going to choose the new tobacco of the month tonight. I'm sure most of you are just here for choosing the tobacco of the month. I know, because if you watch the analytics, you see what usually happens is it peaks early on, and then I think a lot of people join and they go, "What's this?" Oh, and then it drops. It kind of plateaus for a long time, and then as soon as I choose the tobacco of the month, it just drops off. So I think that's what everybody tunes in for. 109, Big Dave. Okay, sorry, misread that. Low humidity. Well, that's a blessing. Gary Edminster, good to see you, sir. Yes, Michael, the saint has returned. She actually came back last Sunday evening and has been back since. So it's really nice to have her home. And she went to the dentist today, so she had a rough day. Not anything done, but she was really annoyed by the traffic and such. Couch is not wearing pants. Okay, Couch, I guess it's hot there. I hope you're decent. Because you can do that without wearing pants. Gary Edmonster's already picking number 3. Okay, Gary, I'll try to remember that. Pleasure is all mine, Pepe. All mine. Still sticking with the Roadrunner tonight. And we've got this really cool advertising Zippo that was given to me by my buddy, the Durham Duke. There's the Smooth Piper. How you doing, Peter? Good to see you, buddy. Happy Friday. Glenn Hill's got some Sutliff Ready Rubbed Match in his custom built pot. Very cool. Doug Owen, good evening, sir. Good to see you. And the Smooth Piper's got some Haunted Bookshop in his Friday, evidently. We're pipe twins right now, Peter. This was a fun week. I actually went to work a lot this week. Some weeks I don't have a lot of meetings and I work from home and I get a lot of stuff done. Other weeks I've got a lot of meetings and I have to commute in and I get much less done. So this was I got a lot done in terms of talking to people and that sort of stuff, but in terms of actual tangible stuff, I always feel like they're both important, I guess, but so it was nice today. I got a couple of things tied up that have been hanging over my head. Ready to try to turn that part of my brain off for the weekend. It doesn't turn off, but I'll do my best. Patrick Grant's got Low Country Natural Virginian Burley in his Friday 7 LA, and he's drinking some Wild Turkey 101 bourbon. Very nice, Patrick. I, by the way, am drinking some more Bullet Rye. Why? Because I forgot to buy beer. Pepe sharing some Carter Hall with Mr. Brog Pear Pipe. Oh, starting some Carter Hall. I was going to say, Pepe, how are you sharing it with the pipe? Yeah. Sorry. I do need reading glasses, but I'm trying to look cool. Doug Owen asks if anyone has access to an unsmoked older custom built. I sure don't, Doug, but if anyone does, if anyone has one or knows someone that has one, wants to get in touch with Doug, he needs it as a gift for a friend, and I'll certainly keep an eye out for you, Doug. Mushroom Leg, that's got to be love. He gave his Friday 7 LA to his fiancée, and she's now a pipe smoker. Wonderful. Congratulations, buddy. And Pepe says he's drinking some Sailor Jerry Neat and a Hop Zone IPA. He's drinking something neat with a Hop Zone IPA. Good morning, Tim Fournier. Good to see you, buddy. How's everything on the island? There's Crafty Piping. Howdy. Smoking Peterson Sweet Killarney in his Dolger Meerschaum Lattice Bulldog. Nice. Sometimes I need them. Jay Nutt, hello. He says he's been watching a lot of my restoration videos. In the pipe mortar video, I explicitly stated that the pipe mortar recipe should not be used as a bowl coating, which you understand. Well, I didn't. What I said was it could be used as a bowl coating if you thinned it out. So if you make it very thin, You could use it as a bowl coating. It's not, I don't think it's a great bowl coating, but I know some pipe restoration guys that do that. What you do have to do though is because it builds cake faster than the bare briar will, um, it's a good idea to, if you're using it to raise the bowl, thin some out and put a coating around the inside of the bowl so that you get an even cake build. But yeah, you could, in theory, you could use it as a bowl coating. And again, I know some folks that do. Tim just finished watching 1883. Cool. And J Nut is following up with, if I were to apply a pipe coating, what would I use? There's a bunch of stuff. I actually don't have a favorite right now. I've been playing with a couple different things. And you know, basically you need some carbon, so some activated charcoal is a good choice. And you want something to make it stick. So you can use honey, you can use, some people use sour cream. There's water glasses if you want to go with a chemical version. And then a lot of people add a little bit of pumice or something like that, that I think is really just to give it a bit more body, so that it sticks a bit better. But yeah, there's a lot of recipes out there and none of them are better than the others. You know, they all do the same thing. Jeffrey Freinberg has got Stanwell Bulldog with Sir Walter Raleigh. Nice. Pepe says he's got a rum neat with the IPA. Cool. Yeah, Doug, it might be unobtainium. I don't know. I think I've seen them. I think I've occasionally, like very rarely, seen an unsmoked custom built, but it's pretty rare. So is the second floor hut complete now, Tim? I'm sure it was humid getting all the stuff in there, though. Gordy checking in from Northeast Ohio and enjoying a summer shandy. Very nice. Benjamin Lindsay just finished a bowl of Ratchet's Marlin Flake, and he's Savinelli Bing's favorite. Nice blend there, Benjamin. Honey makes a good bowl coating, says Gary. Yeah, anything that's kind of sugary is good. I mean, I know one really well-known pipe maker that uses grape jelly. There's probably as many recipes as there are pipe makers. And I don't really think any of them are better than the others. I don't like the water glass just because I know a lot of folks don't like the bowl coating. And you got to sand that off. But if you do something like honey, there's other issues with that because you got to worry about it potentially. Yeah, it's a food product that you're putting in the pipe, so who knows what's going to happen over time, unless somebody starts smoking it. Once you start smoking it, it's fine. But it's just sitting, I worry about it a bit. But you can just wipe that off with some warm water. Yeah, Michael, getting a smoked one is hard enough these days, so yeah, but let's not discourage Doug. He doesn't have a 0% chance. Jay Nuts got some Autumn Evening in his full bed Peterston. Still not sure he's a fan of the P-lip. Yeah. It's one of those polarizing things there, the P-lip, but the truth is I think there's a lot more non-fans than there are fans. I agree, Couch. I think Burley builds cake very nicely, although we know some folks that don't seem to believe that, oddly enough. Oh, complete clutter, Tim. That's not good. Now you'll get it all sorted though, buddy. Don't worry. Just one little spot at a time. You know, Andrew, anything you want to try in your own pipe, you go right ahead. If you want to give Big Mac sauce a shot, why not? And people use sour cream, so yeah. Although I would want to pick the little pickle bits out of it. Yeah, I know, Michael. I mean, honey is actually a pretty good antibacterial. Um, but you know, you can get ants in your pipe or something. I don't know. There's just something about putting food in a pipe that bothers me. Benjamin, I have had 1792 flake. It's an interesting blend. Hillbilly Piper's got pirate cake in his unfinished 673. Nice done. Yeah, Flint Hill, I think that's probably my opinion too. I honestly have not smoked many P-lips, so I don't have a strong opinion about them, but I just kind of like the non-P-lip, so why bother? Tim, I can't argue with that. She built some fine cakes. Pipe time, 10-year-old full Virginia flake in a mirror. Celebrate 1 week of retirement. Hey, congratulations, buddy. That is fantastic. Enjoy that pipe. You never had them there, Michael? Well, maybe you don't keep your pipe in the right place. I don't even know what that means. I was going to make an ants in your pants joke, and then it just devolved to that. Your girl retired, Couch? That's incredible. Congratulations to her. Now, Tim likes his P-lips. So, yeah, and there's, you know, like I said, it can be a polarizing thing, but the truth is, if you like them, fine. That's really great, Couch. Please wish her congratulations for me, and I hope she's happy with that. And I hope she can, you know, do some fun stuff now. It must be Michael, because the other title for this show could be Devolution. Uh-oh. Okay, that's a problem. It's not going to affect you at all, but I just gotta. I'll tell you in a minute. Let me. I don't want to get too far behind here. I'm having trouble. I might have to wear these the rest of the show, and you'll know why in a moment. Pondering the pet-based pipe said he'd never tried the P-lips. So yeah, same. Pipe time. Okay, you're welcome, sir. First person smoker says hello. Hello, first person smoker. Good to see you this evening. So I might have mentioned this before, but the computer I'm using, what I actually watch while I'm doing this and what I'm reading your comments on, is my laptop computer, which I do really need to get a new one. It's my own fault, but the screen has started to go on it, and it had a straight line going down the middle of the screen, which is not normally a problem. But just that when I said a few minutes ago, I've probably got about 30 of them going up and down the screen, and they're different colors. This is kind of trippy. Uh, some of them are sort of a magenta color, some of them are yellow, and things look a lot blurrier. So I'm probably going to need to be wearing these a lot more, and hopefully it will not die completely on me. If so, we'll figure something out. Yeah, never mind. I need to buy a new computer. That's the bottom line. I was thinking about trying to get an older, you know, good quality Dell or Lenovo laptop and turn it into a Linux machine, but I might as well just buy a new one. And this one is probably about 8 years old now, so it's put in its time. Timothy Leary limited edition. Yes. Tim's pipes are very rotationally inclined. Your pipes have good angular momentum, huh, Tim? Yeah, that's okay, Couch. I appreciate it, but I should. I'm probably going to break down and get another System 76. I'm just trying to decide if I want to do another laptop or desktop, and it's complicated because I got other stuff that I want to do with it. And that's what happens right before the display dies. Thank you, Todd. Now I'm worried. I don't know if any of you hardware guys out there know, but is it likely that that is the LCD panel, or could it be just the ribbon cable? Because I've been thinking about taking this apart and either trying to clean or reseat the ribbon cable, maybe replace it, but yes, first person. I think if I go the desktop route, I'm probably going to build one. I haven't done that in a long time, but it's fun. Although I was looking at the prices for components a couple months ago when this first started being a problem, and honestly, you can't save money doing that anymore. But at least you know what you got. That bullet is really, really tasty stuff. The end is near. That's odd. Well, she was a good computer. Patrick thinks it's the LCD panel. May well be. I mean, I can plug it into the other monitor and, use it as a dual screen, and it works just fine. I still have the line on the laptop screen, but so I can still, in theory, get some use out of it. So. I don't know if I can replace the video card couch. Well, I guess I can. I don't know about this because a lot of stuff now is just part of the motherboard, isn't it, on the laptops? Smoking said, good morning. And it's cold in South Africa. Well, stay warm, my friend. Hope you're doing well tonight. Andrew, you couldn't pay me a ton of money to buy a Mac. Not going to happen. But thanks for not trying. Oh, so you went the bundle route. Okay, first person. Wendell thought that the dock on the bay was in Northern California. Is that where you sit on the dock of the bay? Oh, did I miss something, Cal? Oh boy, this is actually looking really bad. I'm not seeing framework, Couch. Sorry. I saw your Dell offer, and then I saw you can replace the video cards too, but I don't have anything between those. You can only lose your V card once, Tim. Hey, Mushroom Leg, if you want to go that route, you enjoy it. Sounds good, Cass. Thank you. Yard Pimp, salute to you, sir. Yeah, the text is very fuzzy. This might be the last live stream from my System 76 laptop. We should have a moment of silence to recognize that and to say goodbye. But we won't. Because I don't think I can keep quiet that long. And there's Hubba Bubba Poem. Good to see you, buddy. Coalition government. Very interesting, Sid. Hope it works well. Uh-oh. Andrew needs help. He got another hobby. Andrew, I collect hobbies like a collector. What's your latest hobby? And we'll try to help you, but I doubt we will. We'll probably make it worse. Yes, Couch. No government works well. Well, do you mean no government works well, or do you mean no government works well, or do you mean no government works well? Oh, SDRs, Andrew, yes. You know, it's one of those things that I have thought about, and I'm into. Sorry, Couch. I'm into ham radio, and I've looked at SDRs, and I don't know. The reason I'm interested in ham radio is the old school twiddling of knobs and stuff like that. So to me, it just doesn't have that attraction, but I can see how it would be a real rabbit hole. Phil Rivera, hello, my friend. Hillbilly Piper, if I confused you, you are welcome, sir. Well, say it. I think the problem is that no government can work well. Although where I disagree with some folks in the live stream is that I think some government is essential, but none of them work well. Tim Fournier is into ham sandwiches. There you go. That's a hobby. And it can be every bit as rabbit holey and expensive as ham radio. And much more tasty. You know, Doug, I remember life before the computer quite clearly because, you know, I was really interested in computers when I was a kid. This was before anybody had them. I actually had this book, and I think the title of the book was, I gotta find this someday because I've got it somewhere. I think the title was How to Build a Working Analog Computer. And you built it out of light bulbs and paper clips. And I did that. And of course, it was just a learning exercise to understand how analog computers worked. And then, you know, the first one I got was the oh, what the heck was it? TR1000? Was it with a 16K pack that clipped onto the back of it and would sometimes fall off. So you'd be in the middle of trying to write something in BASIC and the thing would fall off and you'd lose all your work. So that was fun. So I really spent a big chunk of my childhood wanting computers. And then there was this sort of golden period where you could get them, they were affordable, and it was fun. And then it just became something you needed in your life to get by, and it became much less enjoyable. Yeah, you don't want to put golden spicy mustard on your SDR, Andrew. Absolutely. And Phil said SDR sucks. So, Michael, I can't go down the CaneRod rabbit hole. I've tried, and I'm bad at photography. I admit it, and I just can't. For some reason, I just can't think that way. Um, I don't know why. I just cannot get my head around things like apertures and stuff. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. Ham, pastrami, and corned beef. That's a meat lover's dream there, Tim. Ah, yes, those old apples. I remember my high school computer lab. It wasn't a computer lab, it was the corner of a classroom. Had one of those Apple IIs. And I was talking to somebody recently whose wife works for one of the local schools. And like the last week of school, they had to send all the kids home because they had a cyber attack. And I was thinking, if we had a cyber attack in my school, we just unplug that one computer and get back on with life. Yeah, those Tandy computers from Radio Shack, Andrew? Absolutely. 98, 99 was a golden age. I mean, that's when the web was first kicking off. And, well, no, no, no. It was earlier than that, I'm thinking. I'm thinking like 93, 95 in that range. It was fun then. I remember the first live website was Carnegie Mellon had a webcam pointed at their coffee pot. So if you were in their computer science department, you could tell whether or not there was coffee available. And that became like a worldwide thing where everybody would go and look at the Carnegie Mellon coffee pot. Those were good days. Yes, the infamous Trash 80, indeed. Commodore 64, yeah, I never had one of those. I did have the Atari though. I had the Atari computer. That was my second one. It was the Atari 800. I had a friend who was really into Commodore 64s. Andrew, if you want to plug your Flickr account, go right ahead. Ron Hardcrackers, how you doing tonight, buddy? Camera acquisition syndrome. Well, then you got lens acquisition syndrome too, right, Michael? Andrew, the Timex Sinclair 1000 was the first computer I owned. Yeah. Well, the first one that wasn't made out of flashlight bulbs and paper clips. If you missed the earlier part of the conversation, that's going to make any sense, but Patrick's first were ones he built from components. I didn't get to that stage until much later. Poem ordered another Vaughn Fuji pipe. Cool. Bill, I don't remember doing exactly that, but I remember doing things like that. Said dragon maze, so you could eat through all the maze walls. Yeah. I remember there was this video game, and I cannot remember the name of it. This was in the mid 90s, but it was an alien shoot 'em up, first person shooter alien game. And people had written different hacks for it so you can install these. And the one that I really loved was all the aliens were turned into Barney, the purple dinosaur. And when you shot him, there would be like, explosions and blood and stuff. It was morbid as heck, but it was fun. Amiga 500. Wow. First person. You're taking me back with that. I never had one, and I didn't know anyone that had one, but I remember they existed. Oh, that is cool, Tim. Ground level at Microsoft. That must have been an interesting time there for sure. It wasn't Doom. Um, oh, my glasses on to read your name. Goodness sake. 001 Lucaster. It was not Doom, but I did play Doom. Doom was one of the first-person shooters that I played. That was fun. I don't know if Doom had the Barney hack. This was some space alien game, and I cannot remember the name of it. Some of those text-based games were fun, Phil. Duke Nukem. I knew about Duke Nukem. I don't think I ever played that one. Wolfenstein. Yeah, that was another fun one. Somebody bought Myst when I was a postdoc, and that was like everybody in the lab was just obsessed with it, and I never tried it because I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole. Command and Conquer. I don't remember that one, Crafty Piping. Duke Nukem was one of those, it wasn't a first person, if I remember. It was one of those scroller type games. A close approximation in Purgatory, Gordy. That's funny. Parcheesi. There you go, Michael. Ah, yes, Tim. Oregon Trail, the game where you always died of dysentery. The beer will do that to you, Phil. There was a game. Now, this was an Apple game. So when I was in grad school, the one lab that I worked in was a Mac-based lab. It was a molecular biology lab, and at the time, all the molecular biologists were using Macs, and everybody else was using PCs because we were smarter. But I was working in this guy's lab, so I had to learn to use it, which is part of where my aversion to it comes. But anyway, there was this game that he had on the computer, and it was called Bolo. It was a tank game. And the neat thing about Bolo was that you could play distributed over a network, and you could play like with people all around and stuff. And it was a lot of fun. We probably used up a lot of the university's bandwidth playing that game. Doug, is the ashing you're talking about knocking the ash off the top of the? I mean, I don't. I've never tried it because I don't think it. I think it would be a bad thing actually. I think you need that layer of ash to help keep it burning properly. So yeah, I've never been a fan of that. That's what tamping's for. Oh, Ron, that is funny. I mean, first off, playing Monopoly, the only thing that I could imagine completing a game of Monopoly would be a computer. Because I've never actually completed a game of Monopoly. Um, but it's funny that it actually had the joke in it to say it could stay up longer, because that's how the games always ended when I played them. You'd get to a point where everybody was too tired to go on. I played the Cabela's Big Game Hunter. That was fun. They also had a bass fishing game that I liked. Don't know the Stalker series. Doug, that's the Oregon Trail 2024 version. Oh, thank you, Patrick. Yeah, folks, hit that like button. It helps the algorithm find us and more importantly, other pipe channels. So hit it. You do have to keep the fire burning, Tim. Yes. Hey, the furnace is on. It heats the hot water. You can play Bolo on Linux. Oh, I'm gonna look that up as soon as we finish this, Andrew. Thank you. I would love to try that again. Phil, it really depends on the version you're playing, but you know, I've had chess PC based chess games that I beat every time, and I've had some that I couldn't beat. So I would imagine newer ones are very good. Tim watched the movie The Iron Claw. Was that a martial arts movie, Tim? Sounds familiar. I still haven't watched Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, but I did watch Cowgirls versus Pterodactyls, which I can, without exception, suggest that you not watch, uh, with no reservations whatsoever. It was an interesting movie in that it had every opportunity to go into an R-rated territory, but it stayed staunchly PG, and I respected it for that. But oh my goodness, it was not good. Flint Hill saw the Garfield movie. That's playing at the local theater. I had half considered it, but it's not the classic Garfield. I don't know if I'm interested. The Avon Eric family. Okay, Tim, I'm going to need to look that up. Crafty piping, I used to know that. I could probably, if you want to send me an email, CaneRodPiper@gmail. I can dig that information up for you on the Meerschaum tenon. I know I've got the tap for it, and I can let you know what it is. Oh, okay. It's a wrestling family thing. Gotcha. Gotcha, Tim. Yeah, Doug. It's the true story is not pretty. Oh, it's Shadows of Chernobyl. That's interesting, Phil. Very interesting. Michael Muirhead, how you doing? The name of the movie is The Iron Claw. What movie am I thinking of that's a martial arts movie where the guy's got an iron claw on his hand? Big Dave, I don't think it was a metric thread, but I'd have to check. Surprised me, but Iron Fist. Okay. Enter the Dragon. That yeah, that definitely had the that was the one that was it was in a room that where everything was in glass cases or something. I'm having Enter the Dragon flashbacks, but yeah, I remember that. It is a good movie, Patrick. Yeah, I like those. I'm just a bit of a Bruce Lee geek. I just he was an interesting fellow for sure, and I've seen some videos of him that are just if you ever get a chance, there's a video of him playing ping pong, and I've seen this video 5 or 6 times. I'm like, okay, he's playing ping pong, and he's like flipping around and stuff. Oh, it's probably table tennis. Sorry. Anyway, he's playing ping pong, and he's like, flipping around and stuff, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's Bruce Lee. But then I realized he's playing ping pong with nunchucks, which against somebody that's got a paddle, and it's really quite remarkable to watch this. He was a very interesting human being. Uh, Definitely had some abilities that were just not normal. Ron, I was watching it on Creature Features as well. I've really taken a shine to that show. I've been watching it for about a month and a half now, and yeah, I'm greatly enjoying it. Can't go wrong with Airport Flint Hill. A commercial for mouthwash. Okay, that would be a pretty strong mouthwash. You're right, Phil. There wasn't room for both of you in this world. I won't call you Shirley, Tim. Yes. Crafty Pipe, and people are going to yell at me for this, but I've never seen Forrest Gump. I have no interest in it. I don't like Tom Hanks. Yes, he did play Kato in the Green Hornet, Michael. Indeed. Well, folks, we have reached the end of the Haunted Bookshop Friday Savinelli portion of our evening. And you know what that means. I know, Crafty Piping, I know, it's blasphemy. Heresy, okay. I've never seen it. It seemed like a pretty boring idea for a movie to me, and I know the lines, I know the box of chocolate line and all that stuff, but I just don't have any interest in it. Yeah, Doug, I saw your comment on that video last week. I did not see the Tingler in the theater. I wish I had. And I was really surprised to see that the chairs were actually wired. I had known that there were vibrators under some of the chairs, and I had heard the rumors that they were electrically shocking people, but I didn't believe them until you confirmed it. So that's amazing. Neil Armstrong faked the moon landing on Phil's 4th birthday. Oh, how can I blank on this right now? On Phil's 4th birthday, Stanley Kubrick completed his his fake of the moon landing. Tim, I just watched Cowgirls versus Pterodactyls, and that was made in 2001. So it's not true that I don't watch movies after 1974. I just don't enjoy movies after 1974. Codger Jim says the music was good. Well, that's something. I don't care, Tim. I really don't. But speaking of movies that have good music in them, I enjoy, for better or worse, I admit, quite a few of Quentin Tarantino's movies, and part of the draw for that has been the music. But those are post 1974. I really liked the Kill Bill series, and I enjoyed Pulp Fiction. So there you go, Tim. What are you going to say about that? Andrew, I can't suspend my dislike of Tom Hanks. I've tried. I've tried. Um, so when I was younger, and she was younger, I like Meg Ryan. She was cute, and I went to see the movie that she was in with Tom Hanks that I think was called Joe versus the Volcano, and I was so annoyed by Tom Hanks in that movie that I couldn't enjoy Meg Ryan in that movie. So yeah, that's how bad it is. He put me off Meg Ryan. Yeah, Phil, I remember watching that. I guess it was Walter Cronkite, with my dad, black and white TV. And I remember a year or two later watching one of the moonshots at my uncle's house. He had some, like it was a summer barbecue type thing. We went to visit him, and he was one of the first in the family to have a big color TV, and watching that rocket take off on color TV was really something. Uh, those were great times. Yeah, it was something to be proud of, wasn't it, Phil? It really was. Louis Armstrong might have been, Tim, might have been. The Matrix, it was okay. Tim didn't like Kill Bill. I liked it. And I can understand why you might not have, Tim. It's definitely a movie that I could, if I was in a different mood the first time I saw it, I probably wouldn't have liked it, to be honest. You know, Flint Hill, it's so sad to me that there are people in the workforce right now that have not seen that movie because they were too young. Because that seems like a recent movie to me. Did she? I don't remember the movie, Poem, to be honest. They might have been in You've Got Mail. I don't know if I've seen that one, Gordy. I'm sure there were worse films, Tim. I'm sure he made a lot of worse films. Wow, Michael, that's an odd coincidence that that's the last film you saw in the theater. Wow. Yeah, Phil, there's a lot going on there. I mean, I didn't like him before all that stuff, but yeah, that whole thing and the Disney stuff, yeah. I can't really remember all the Matrix movies, Patrick. I did see them, but you know, they were cool. They were I understand why people liked them so much. I just didn't, I don't know. Midnight Cowboy's a good one, Andrew. Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen it, but Taxi Driver's fine movie, Patrick. Oh, Phil, that's really neat. That's a neat memory. Okay, I'm gonna stop reading comments for a moment so that I can see what the tobacco of the month's gonna be, and then we'll get back to movies. I promise. Because what else are we gonna talk about? Um, so I picked three semi-random tins here, and please do not start voting until we get through all the tins. Okay, this one was here last week, and I'm sorry, I just decided to keep it this week. And that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that I desperately want this one or anything. It's opened. I've had it before, and it's the Robert McConnell Scottish Flake. So we will call that number one, Robert McConnell Scottish Flake. Number two, this is a new entry. This is Cornell and Deal Burley Flake number three. I think last time we had Burley Flake number one. This is from April of 22. It was actually sent to me in May of 23 by my buddy Mark in Rhode Island, and the bottom is bubbled out, so that's something. Burley Flake number three. That's I believe that's a burley and dark fired with some perique in it. Cornell and Deal. So that's number two. Number one is Scottish Flake, Robert McConnell. Number two is Burley Flake number three. And number three is a tin of War Horse Bar. Well, you don't want to mix those letters up too much. This was sent to me back in March of 23 by my buddy Texas Piper Eddie. Haven't seen you in a while, Eddie. I hope you're doing well. And I don't have a date on this, but I think it's probably about that old. Let's see if there's another date on it. But War Horse Bar is number three. So number one, Robert McConnell. Number two, C&D Burley Flake. Number three, and number three, War Horse Bar. So what are we going to have this evening? So we got 1-1, a 2. Somebody voted for Q. Michael, I'm not going to count that. There's a 3. We got 2 for 3, 2 for 1, 3 for 1, 4 for 1, 3 for 3, 4 for 3, 4 for 1, 5 for 1. There's another 1 for 1, so 6. Another 2. You know what, guys? I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to go back and start counting. This is confusing. All right, so I'm going to go through the number one. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 ones. Okay. Twos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 twos. The twos in the lead now. And the threes. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So right now we got 8 threes and I think it was 6 twos. So it looks like 3 is the winner. Now can I remember which one? So 3 was the Warhorse bar. So that's what we're going to do. And I hope it's not too much of a bar because I don't have a knife ready. Alrighty. Now while I'm doing this, I want to show you something before I open this up. I made a video several years ago about using parafilm to seal your tins, and you can see that's what I've got on this tin. And I used it for a long time and it was great, but I ran out and I bought some new stuff. Same product, same type and everything. I don't know that anything is different. And what has started to happen is no matter how many layers I put on it, I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not, but it is there. It is splitting. And I've tried all sorts of different things. I've tried putting multiple layers on. There's a even bigger split right there. So I don't like this anymore. And a buddy sent me an email about something that he uses that is actually something I've got here. And I never thought to use it, but I'm going to try it. And I think this Sunday, in my Sunday chat video, I'm going to talk about this more, and I'll show you this other option, which might be a better option than parafilm. And then I'm going to try to figure out what to do with all the parafilm I've got. So anyway, just want to let you know I'm not a big fan of the parafilm anymore. Okay, can we? I don't know how Beans does that. You know what? I wonder if I can. I wonder if this will work. Probably not. Oh, it worked. Miller Falls to the rescue. It's the all-purpose. Everybody's going to want one of those for their pipe accoutrements now. Ooh, that is very, very interesting. Definitely got some of that that Warhorse topping. I have no idea what it is, but very sweet, anisey, all wrapped up. This is going to be a solid brick, and you guys are going to have to watch me try to... Oh, my goodness. Okay, it's got a little thingy on top of it. Oh, this might not be too bad, but it is a very nice bar. So, nice chocolate brownie looking feller here. So let's see if we can get a bit of this broken off and rubbed out. Oh, it actually breaks very easily. It's a nice dense flake, but it does tear apart pretty easy. Okay, I just tore that corner off there. And let's move this. Sorry you can't see any of this, but you can. So I'm just gonna use the lid here to rub it out. It's a little bit moist. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Get a bit more. Big Dave, I hope we get copious amounts of thick white smoke here. You don't have to heat shrink the parafilm film, it just stretches. Aluminum HVAC tape, I know a lot of folks use that. Hot wax is an option, Tim. Warhorse brownie indeed. Tim thinks that Tom Hanks and Billy Joel like Warhorse. In that case, I'm probably not going to like this. Now, I like the Warhorse Ready Rubbed, so I'm looking forward to this. Smells good. All right, so we got some nicely rubbed out here. It is a little bit moist, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. So. Doug says it's mucho strongo. I don't know if green comes in a bar version, Michael. Which war was this horse in? I don't know. It's not moist and chunky, so we got that. I've heard really good things about Obsidian, Phil. That'd be wonderful. All right, and the pipe we're going to smoke tonight is my my number 3 billiard, which is the pipe I'm smoking today. And I gotta tell you a story about my pipe smoking frequency now. So I'm just packing this. It's all rubbed out, so I'm just packing it as I would normally pack any ribbon rub. Lord Hogarth thinks it's the Crimean War. Makes sense. Yeah, Phil, I almost said something else, mixing those letters up. Got to be careful. It's not a family show for sure, but I like my YouTube strikes to be earned, not due to accidental slips. Alrighty, we're all ready to go here. Let me just get this tin closed up again. And we'll get War Horse Bar lit up. I probably should have, well, I can't because I don't know what I'm going to be smoking, so I can't really do any research on this. So this is made of dark fired Kentucky, dark air cured and matured red Virginia. Standard Tobacco Company, Near and Dutch. And that's all she wrote. So let's get it going. There's a topping on this that it's sweet. It's got a anise sort of smell to it. And I remember the Ready Rubbed having a similar topping that didn't really affect things much. Jim PM just finished applying sander and deglosser to a kid's rocking chair he's refinishing. Oh, cool. For the second grandson. Very nice, Jim. Smoking Stormfront. The Rock Lobster War. The War of the Sexes. The War of the Roses. Ron Hardcracker's getting my joke already. Preempting my joke. If it's flowery, you'd say War of the Roses. Yeah. Ah, Phil, that's terrible. Yeah, moderators are important. That is nice. Took me a bit to get it lit, to be honest, but it's yeah, the topping it's unique. It's similar to the topping that's on this is, just make sure that I got the company right here. Yeah, this is so Standard Tobacco is these are in Pennsylvania, these guys, and they're the same ones that brought back the Bengal slices, and Russolette worked with them on that as well. And it's got that same topping. But the nice thing about this and the Bengal slices is the tobacco comes through and it's the topping's there, but if I remember right, at least with the Ready Rubbed, it dies out pretty quickly. Paul has been doing some research on Halloween this week. Oh, I was okay. I never knew where that name came from. That's interesting, Paul. You know, Lord Hogarth, I'm not too sure about horses myself. Whenever I've been close to a horse, they always look at me like they know something. Bill, I think there should be a T-shirt made that says that, about sitting on anything with a mind of its own. Yeah, I think the new Bengal slices is great, Patrick. I smoked a lot of the original Bengal slices back in the day, and to the best of my ability to remember it, I think it's a very faithful reproduction. Ah, Jim PM's got a connection to Bruce Lee there. That's very cool, Jim. Don't get in a Tesla. Good advice, Lord Hogarth. So, a guy I work with um, apparently had a really rough night, and when he was asked what the problem was, he replied that he got up at 3 a.m. because his car called him, which I thought was strange. I don't know what kind of car he has, but it's an electric vehicle. And he his car called him because it had a flat tire. I thought, well, okay, I guess that's nice. At least you know. But then the story got really interesting because apparently, and you guys that have electric vehicles, I don't quite know if this is true. I haven't researched it myself. I'm only going on what this guy told me, and he owns one, so maybe he's full of it, but he claims that because of the weight of the batteries, the motor has to be a very high torque motor. And because of that, you are not able to replace one tire on the car. When you need new tires, you have to replace all four. And the tires are not cheap. For whatever reason, I don't think you can just put on whatever tires you want. So he was, it was like a couple $1,000 because he had a flat tire. And I said, well, I'm just going to add that to my list of reasons I'm never going to buy an electric vehicle. The Night Industries 2000 was a fine car, Tim. Armchair Piper studied napping. I did some napping earlier this evening, Ed. Yeah, you guys that were into the martial arts, I see Phil there and Jim PM. We're talking about the different forms and stuff. That is super cool. But If it wasn't in a Bruce Lee movie, I don't know anything about it. So I see some folks confirming the tire thing, and Lord Hogarth says the same thing goes for four-wheel drive vehicles. Grasshopper 673. Ciao to you, sir. Ah, Smooth Piper, Peter. This pipe is Warhorse Bar. It was chosen as the tobacco of the month this month, so this is what we're having, and it's good stuff. Well, Tim, you can do that there on the island. All is great here, Grasshopper. The amazing thing to me about this, and I believe the Ready Rub was like this as well, and the Bengal Slices was definitely like this, is just how smooth these blends are. They are just wonderful in terms of the mouthfeel, and no harsh edges to this at all. And this is from 2023. It's about a year old. It's not like it's aged much. I saw a story today. Oh, Phil, actually, you sent me the story, I think, about the taxing of the electric vehicles because of the loss of. Yeah, you sent me that story. Never mind. Apparently, California is going to be taxing electric vehicles because they're losing too much money in the gasoline tax. World War One makes sense, Doug. Although it could have been any war prior to that too, I guess. So I want to tell you the change in my pipe frequency. So some of you are going to yell at me and tell me I'm ruining my pipes and all that, but I've been doing this for close to 30 years. I generally pick out a pipe in the morning and I smoke that pipe all day. And I'll usually have 8 or so bowls. And then I clean out the ash and stuff. I set the pipe aside, and then on Saturday morning, I clean all the pipes that I've smoked for the week and put them back on the rack. It's the way I've been doing it for many, many years. It's never caused me a problem, and that's what I do. So at the end, on Saturday, I usually have 7 pipes plus 2 more. So there's usually a pipe that I'm breaking in, and that sits next to me on the table next to where I sit upstairs. So I clean that one because I smoke that every day. And then there's the Friday Savinelli that I smoke on Friday nights. So that one also gets cleaned. So there's 9 pipes that I clean every Saturday. And again, I've been doing this for years. So I went to the doctor's the other day. And for many years, I have the following conversation with my doctor. He says, He basically asked if I'm still smoking. I say yes. He says, do you want to stop? I say no. And he says, okay. But when I first started seeing this doctor about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, he asked me if I smoked, and I said yes. He said, what do you smoke? I said, pipes and cigars. And he wrote that down and went on. And the next time I went to see him, he said, are you still smoking one pipe a day? Now, I know he's asking a different question than I'm answering, but I truthfully could say yes. And I actually think I added, except on Fridays, sometimes it's 2. And for years now, he's been saying, you're still smoking one pipe a day? And I say yes. I know he's not getting the information he's asking, and I know urgent care type thing. I got, long story very short, I got some poison ivy. I'm highly allergic to poison ivy, and I had to go and get some steroid for it. And I'm fine. So I'm talking to this other doctor, and they start up on the, so I see you're smoking one pipe a day. And I said, yes. And they said, do you think you could maybe cut that down? And I said, well, if you want, I could just do one pipe every other day. And they said, okay. So I'm now keeping the same pipe for 2 days. Now, I probably won't do that for long, because I do think that'll overtax them a bit, but it makes me laugh, and it's all okay. I thought you'd enjoy that. Yes, Ed, I know your thoughts on it, and we that's okay. It works for you, buddy. It must be good. And I'm not recommending anybody do what I do. Nicotine is why your back hurts, Grasshopper? I don't know about that one. I would question that. I would get a second opinion on that. That's true, Lord Hogarth. They just assume everybody's lying to them anyway, so it probably all works out. I've had doctors say that, Phil. I've had doctors that agreed with me on that. But the younger ones just, there's nothing you can do to convince them otherwise. Yeah, the anise topping was definitely much more popular back in the day, Doug. And it's nice. It's I enjoy it. Big Dave wants to know what causes the pain in both of his hips. It's probably the fact that you do the twist nonstop, Big Dave. Where did the time go, Patrick? I was just getting warmed up. I still have to guzzle whiskey now. That's the problem. When you got this much beer left, it's not a big deal. When you got this much whiskey left, yeah, Jim, I've used parafilm for many years in labs, and I know it's not meant to be long term, but I've stored stuff for years and never had that problem. Now, granted, it was usually in a refrigerator or a freezer, so maybe that's it. Maybe it just doesn't last at room temperature. But yeah, it's definitely not. It's not the long term solution. Well, but let me back up. The stuff that I did years ago with that initial box that I had worked fine, and those things are still perfectly fine. So I don't know, it's changed in some way. But I think I got a better solution, and other folks have better solutions too. So homemade haunted bookshop, nice grasshopper. Lukester, it is some bullet rye. Oh, Big Dave, you were seriously asking that question. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make fun of pain. I just thought I thought you were joking, my friend. But I see now he's saying that it's not constant, but comes and goes. It could be arthritis, Big Dave. And Phil says it's disc compression, yeah, or degenerative disc. Brian Woodward, you're a man after my own heart with those pipe cleaning methods. But, it's nice to clean your pipes too. I'm not saying you have to do it that way. Ed, do you jar new tins? Like if you buy a new tin of tobacco, do you open it up and put it in a jar, even if you're not going to smoke it? Because if I'm cellaring tins, I don't do that. That's why like if I don't smoke all of this Warhorse bar in the next month, it'll go into a jar. But if I'm, a new tin of tobacco that I'm going to be keeping for a couple years, I want to put something on it. Sounds like good stuff, Grasshopper. Everything you've opened. Okay, Armchair, gotcha. The Smooth Piper is voting for number 3. I got people that vote way too early and people that vote way too late. I don't get it. And I don't even remember what number won, Peter. I think number 3 did win, so you voted well. We have reached the end of the show, folks, but I'm still drinking. So if you want to hang around, if you want to go off and do other stuff, you go right ahead. But if you want to hang around with me and watch me drink, you can do that too. I see some folks saying good night. Good night, Tim. It's wonderful to see you, buddy. Have a great weekend. Ed, I think you need a jar for every pipe. I think that would be a nice idea. Well, Michael, you know what they say. I know, Armchair Piper, that would be far too many jars. I'm just teasing you, Ed. Been too long since I've seen you, buddy, by the way. Always something getting in the way. How many tins do I think I only have this one tin of the Warhorse bar because I remember saying that I hadn't tried it, and that's why Eddie sent it to me. Um, but I've got some, I think I've got some Warhorse green and some Warhorse red ready rubbed in my cellar. I think probably one or two tins of each. I know I sound like a broken record, Ed, but we'll make it happen soon. Yes, Ed, I will. I will remember that. Uh, you guys that don't know, Ed lives about it's about an hour or so from where I am, and we had planned to meet to smoke a few pipes and chat, and I drove all the way down there and got out of my car and thought I should have something in my hand. I usually don't go anywhere without a pipe in my mouth, so I don't know how I did it, but I got all the way to his house without a pipe. That was a good day. We had fun though. We went out and got some lunch, and yeah, it was a good time. But it'll be more fun with pipes. So my summer is planned fishing and visiting Ed. Indeed, Michael. Indeed, that's a fun. You know, I still haven't fished. I'm so mad that May went by and I didn't fish once, but it's too many family things going on. The original Irish version of Warhorse had a really toxic additive. That's interesting, Jim. I would imagine Tonkin bean was the only possibility there, but Bad Company Piper UK, good evening to you. We really should be done by now, so you're very late, but it's good to have you, buddy. I always say you can't be late, but I guess if you show up after the show was supposed to end, that by definition is late. Ah, Michael, the brother's doing well. He went to the doctor and had another scope yesterday to take a larger biopsy. It's the strangest thing I've ever heard. So they've done this is the third biopsy now. And we don't have results from the third one yet, but the first two came back non-cancer. He has no cancer markers. There's no evidence that it has metastasized. But the doctors are insisting that because it looks like cancer, the tumor itself, that it must be. And they say even if the third biopsy doesn't come back positive, they're probably still going to treat him. And that worries me because I don't know how you choose the treatment then. So we're going to have to see how things are going. Patrick's asking the same question, so thank you guys for thinking of him. And please continue prayers for my brother Scott and for my father-in-law Ray. He's doing okay too, but it's a rough road for both of them. But they're benefiting from all the prayer for sure. Tonkin is from castor beans, I believe, Phil. Oh, so Russ said it was an awful mix of industrial-like chemicals. Oh my goodness. Darn Irish. I got a lot of Irish in me. I'm allowed to say that. Yeah, Phil, Ed was very polite. He's a very polite kind of guy, but I could see him laughing quite a bit inside. Although some of the things that Dr. Bo said were downright hurtful. Getting a green line at the top of the screen? Oh, I don't know what could be causing that. I mean, you can't see my monitor. You're on a different feed. I'm just picking it up secondarily, so not my monitor causing that. Anybody else seeing a green line? Oh, Phil, I'm so sorry. I remember you telling me about that, and my goodness. Yeah, the fact is we've come incredibly far in the treatment of cancer. I better start drinking if this is never going to end. We've come incredibly far in the treatment of cancer in the past 10 years. I mean, the cancer that I had would have killed me if I got it 10 years earlier. No question about it. Oh, Flint Hill's seen a green line too. I don't know what that is. And Patrick saw it earlier. Very odd. Huh. So we've come a long way in the treatment of cancer, but we still know almost nothing about it. So sad state of affairs. Gary had several lines too. And Ron's saying, yep, I don't know. I'm not causing the lines. That's YouTube. Because the way this works, it's being sent to YouTube before I see it. Or, well, it's being split. So what YouTube is getting is not what I'm, you know what I mean. I've had a little bit too much bullet rye to explain this. Captain has no hope. All right, Ed. Ford Smoking Pipe says I'm line free on his end. How you doing, Johnny? Good to see you, buddy. Well, some folks are seeing a line. Some folks are saying it's red. Some folks are saying it's green. I don't know. Bike Week is starting in New Hampshire. Lacona, New Hampshire, says Poem. Well, that's nice. Just getting wind and rain in the UK, says Bad Company Piper. Rust does make them good indeed, Jim. Indeed. I wish you would spend less time making those darn aromatics, though. I'll tell you something about the kind of guy he is, too. So I made a video, a review of Bengal slices when the new Bengal slices came out, standard tobacco version. And I was just, oh, it wasn't a review. I hate that word. It was an impression video. And, you know, I was excited about it because I used to smoke it a lot. And, you know, when it was available before it went away, and now it was available again. And I wasn't expecting anything to come of that. I actually got an email from Russ. And it shocked me. You know, I just wasn't expecting this. But he emailed me, he introduced himself, said, he looked at the video and he said, oh God, a 20-minute video. I'm not going to be able to watch this. And then he said, I watched it right through to the end. It was a great video and all. And that, you know, I was very proud of that. So it was good, and we traded a couple emails. I didn't want to bug him too much, but he's a nice guy. Ah, so it might be the coronal mass ejection, says Phil. That makes sense. Glad you're doing well, Johnny. You had a great weekend too, Grasshopper. And actually, I think Grasshopper is going to give me my cue to try to tie this up as well. My wife's going to wonder what's happened to me. She waits for me to come back upstairs and then asks me the question, the same question every week. What did you talk about? And I say, I don't know. Or if I do remember, it shocks her. Like, why are you talking about Gilligan's Island? So we will indeed draw this to an end. I've got one last little sip here. So we're done. So thank you all for joining me. It's been a blast, as always. High point of my week, as I always say. I will be back next week, although the little credits card will say I'm not sure, but I'm 99% sure I will be back next week. I'm just too lazy to make a new little credits card. I'll also be back on Sunday with a video, so I'll look forward to talking at you then. That'll just be a video, not a live stream, but I think I'm going to talk about this parafilm alternative, so if you get a chance, tune into that. You might be interested in it. It may not work. It might be a complete failure. So we'll see. So you all take care. Have a fantastic weekend and a great week ahead. And I'll see you all next Friday. Bye, everybody.